Hotels look polished on the outside, but behind the front desk smiles and staged lobby furniture, there are tricks, traps, and subtle scams designed to squeeze money out of travelers who think they're getting a great deal. Even smart travelers get caught in these because hotels make the scams look normal, friendly, or cleverly hidden inside routine check-in procedures. Today, we're breaking down 10 hotel scams you need to avoid in 2026 so you don't lose money, sleep, or your sanity before your trip even begins. Welcome to Passport Pointers, the channel where we break down the fine print of travel with humor, honesty, and a healthy dose of sarcasm. Today, we're exposing the 10 hotel scams that trap even the most seasoned travelers. Once you know these tricks, you'll spot them instantly, avoid them with ease, and check into hotels like someone who has been studying the playbook from the inside. The first scam is the mandatory resort fee disguised as an amenity charge. You've seen it. The hotel advertises a beautiful low rate and then, surprise, they tack on a daily fee for access to the pool, Wi-Fi, fitness center, or complimentary printing, which you probably never asked for and definitely don't need. Pilot families and frequent travelers know this trick all too well because these fees aren't optional no matter how optional the hotel tries to make them sound. The worst part is that the hotel often separates the fee from the room rate so you don't notice it until checkout. It's not an accident, it's a trap. And it works because people feel too tired or embarrassed to complain. In 2026, these fees have gotten so bloated that some hotels charge more for the amenities than the room itself. The second scam is the room downgrade scam. When hotels oversell certain room types, usually the nicer ones, they quietly move guests into cheaper rooms hoping no one complains. They know that most travelers are in a rush, exhausted from flights, or focused on just dropping their bags somewhere. They'll say something like, "We've placed you in a similar room," or "You've been assigned a different view," hoping you won't notice the difference between what you booked and what you're given. Pilot families know that hotels routinely overbook premium rooms because they expect a percentage of guests not to show up. But when everyone does show up, someone gets downgraded, and unless you point it out immediately, you'll end up paying premium rates for an inferior room without ever realizing it. The third scam is the minibar weight sensor trick. Minibars used to be simple. You touched the snacks, you paid for the snacks. But now, hotels have replaced basic shelves with weight sensors that charge you the moment something moves, even if you put it back. These systems are so sensitive that simply adjusting an item triggers a charge. Pilot families learn quickly to avoid minibars altogether because hotels treat them like a profit center disguised as convenience. And when you dispute the charge later, the hotel acts like the minibar is some sacred, infallible laboratory instrument, refusing to believe anyone could possibly touch an item without consuming it. The fourth scam is the housekeeping timing scam. Some hotels intentionally do housekeeping walkthroughs during times when most guests are out exploring so they can claim your room was serviced while you were away. But if you actually wanted service, fresh towels, empty trash cans, new sheets, you won't get it unless you request it again. And sometimes even then, they'll say they were unable to service the room due to privacy sign. Pilot families know that housekeeping schedules in many hotels are designed for efficiency, not customer needs. And when hotels understaff their cleaning teams, they use attempted service excuses to avoid admitting they couldn't keep up. The fifth scam is the breakfast bait and switch. A hotel will brag about having free breakfast, and then when you arrive, you find out the free version is basically toast, bananas, and watery juice. Everything else is upgraded breakfast that requires a surcharge or a separate voucher. Pilot families know that hotel breakfasts vary wildly in quality, and most of the time the photos online show food items from a menu you have to pay extra for. Even worse, some hotels quietly phase out breakfast items during busier seasons to reduce cost, leaving guests disappointed and still paying for what was advertised. The sixth scam is the early check-in fee trap. Hotels love to charge extra if you arrive before the official check-in time, even when rooms are clearly ready. Pilot families see this all the time because flight crews arrive at random hours. The truth is that many hotels block early check-in not because rooms aren't available, but because they want to upsell. They'll say, "Your room isn't ready yet, but for an additional fee, we can check you into another room now." Translation: they know you're tired, frustrated, and willing to pay. But in reality, the room is already prepared. They're just holding it hostage until you open your wallet. The seventh scam is the bottled water placement scam. Hotels intentionally place overpriced bottled water near the TV, near the thermostat, or directly next to complimentary items to confuse you. Some bottles have no labels or price tags because the hotel wants you to assume they're free. They're not. Bottled water is one of the easiest upsells hotels rely on because people either assume it's complimentary or feel too embarrassed to fight the charge at checkout. Pilot families avoid hotel water entirely because they know even the cheapest bottles often get marked up by 500 to 800%. The eighth scam is the hidden parking fee scam. Hotels love to advertise free or affordable parking online, only to tell you at check-in that parking has a new fee or is operated by a third party. These fees often double during peak travel seasons because the hotel knows guests don't want to drive around looking for alternatives. Pilot families know which hotels quietly change parking fees throughout the year, especially properties near airports or cruise ports. Most travelers don't realize the parking cost until it appears on their bill, long after they are locked in. The ninth scam is the credit card hold inflation. Hotels will place a hold on your card that's double or triple the actual room rate, claiming it's for incidentals. Pilot families know these holds can take days or even weeks to drop off, especially with certain banks. Some properties quietly increase the hold amount during busy seasons because they expect more disputes. And if you're traveling internationally, the exchange rate fluctuations make the temporary hold even more painful. These inflated holds aren't just inconvenient. They're a calculated way to protect the hotel's financial risk at your expense. The 10th scam is the loyalty program trap. Hotels push their loyalty programs aggressively, promising free nights, upgrades, or exclusive perks. But what they don't mention is that many of these perks are subject to blackout dates, availability restrictions, or arbitrary rules that make them nearly impossible to redeem. Pilot families know that loyalty programs only benefit heavy travelers, not occasional ones. Most travelers spend years accumulating points only to realize the redemption value barely covers a basic room on a weekday in a city no one is visiting. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this breakdown, hit the subscribe button. It helps support the channel and ensures you never miss the weekly travel tips, hacks, and warnings that help you avoid the traps hotels hope you'll never notice. Hotels are experts at making unnecessary charges look normal, friendly, polite, or simply how things are. But now you know the 10 scams that even smart travelers fall for. Use this knowledge to protect your wallet, challenge suspicious charges, and check in with confidence instead of confusion. Thanks for watching Passport Pointers, and I'll see you in the next video.